why we have to continue to invest, and maybe also to increase the investment in the health workforce.
I think you have a point. It's true that if we look at the data from the past 10 years, there has been, for example, a 20% increase in the density of doctors, number of doctors per 10,000 population in the European region, in the 53 countries. And there has been an 8% increase in the density of nurses over the last 20 years. So you're right, we have more doctors and nurses than ever. However, we are still experiencing a health workforce crisis in most of the European countries. So the key question is, why do we have a crisis? And I think we can explain this in two ways. One is because we have some factors pushing down the availability of doctors, which is aging of the workforce. And Italy, you have a very old doctors workforce. Over 50% of the doctors are over 55 years of age. Also, in migration in some countries, that's playing an important role. And also we see increased attrition because of increased burnout of health workers in different services. We see between 41 to 52% of health workers being burned out after the COVID pandemic. So all these factors are pushing down the availability of health workers. And on the other hand, on the other side, we see an increase of the demand because of an aging population. If you look at the aging of the population over 65 years of age, is really increasing for the past 30, 40 years, and also the population over 85 years of age. That means that population will need more care, will need more health care, and the demands for services will be higher. Multimorbidity, also the increase of the backlogs from the COVID pandemic and waiting list, and also we are seeing an increased consumerism. So all this increase the demand while the health workforce is not coping with that, is not increasing at the same pace, and that's just creating the gap and the shortage. So basically, I think we need to keep investing, but the main message that I have is that we need to retain first in the short run the health workers that we have in the system. And in order to do that, we need to improve the working conditions. We need, in terms of workload, in terms of work-life balance, in terms of salaries, in terms of or mental health of the health workforce. So we need to make attractive working in the health sector so we can keep the current health workers and being able to attract the new generations. In some countries, this is a problem. In Norway, in Denmark, they are not able to attract nurses into the nursing schools. So this is critical. And second, I agree with you, we cannot keep increasing the numbers forever. We need to work smartly. We need to optimize the performance. It's how we really make the best use of the limited human resources that we have. And in order to do that, we need to bring innovation in how we organize services. We need to optimize the different skill mix, the different types of health workers and their roles. For example, nurses can probably play a bigger role in the practice. And we also need to bring digital health technologies so that they can really maximize the clinical time of health workers.
As sometimes big games are played at national level, what could local managers do to improve the workforce condition and give a contribution to a good planning actions?
I think regional level managers or mid-level managers can play a really critical role. And I think many times when we talk about innovation, we are thinking about digital health technologies, but I think innovation is core, is critical on health workforce. And I think many of you, because you are mid-level managers, you are close to the reality, you are close to the problems, the needs of the patients and the health workforce, and you are in a much better position of finding appropriate solutions and tailored solutions for the context that you have at the regional level or at the local level on the health workforce, in terms of how reorganize patient flows, in terms of how bringing new technologies that can be used to maximize the time, as I was saying before, in terms of doing regional planning and really knowing your health workforce. What is the supply? What is the demand? What are the needs? Where are the gaps in rural areas, in underserved areas? You know really well that, and I think for your role in really understanding well what is the health workforce situation in your region or in your local area, and how to, with having flexibility in health service management, how you can really play around to really maximize and be more effective, having a more effective health workforce by managing it in a better way.
So first of all, if you can provide a definition for medical desert.
Thank you so much for the question. Medical deserts are those areas in which people have improper access to care because of lack of services or lack of quality of those services that can arise because of insufficient number of health workforce, insufficient number of units, healthcare units, and the high cost of services, the long waiting times, and other socio-cultural barriers like language, culture, and so on.
And the second question is, what are, in your opinion, some of the most effective ways to mitigate medical deserts?
Yes, that's a very good question, actually. And it's a very complex question because medical deserts, as you can see from its definition, they are very complex and can vary based on the country, the region, and so on. So there is no one solution fits all, but rather to target each area in particular. But general solutions that we have identified across country would be to increase the number of the healthcare workers, to put more focus on primary care, and to involve the community more into the care, and also to incentivize people to work in rural areas and deserted areas.